Next weekend on CBS Sports Saturday, Roberto Duran continues to fight his way back to the top as he faces European super welterweight champion Luigi Minchillo next weekend on CBS Sports Saturday.
That ought to be a great fight. It'll be early afternoon in Vegas, though, and it could be over 100 degrees. That'll be a test of Duran's conditioning for sure. He said he wasn't in shape for his first fight. We're ready to go. Neil O'Donoghue will kick off for the St. Louis Cardinals, who are back in the lead 12-10 with 9:49 left in the first half. Terry Metcalf in the center of that receiving formation. Fumble inside the 5. Metcalf picked it up after Nelms fumbled it, and Metcalf is drilled at the 11-yard line.
Well, he was drilled. He went down fast in the stock market, Frank. He was really hit.
Stump Mitchell, number 30 on the stop.
Well, they got the stump. They got Roy Green, 25, and Randy Love. All excellent specialty team people.
Nelms, of course, playing with a fractured thumb that he hurt in the final preseason game. He's had trouble hanging onto the football. Came up with a critical fumble last week against the Giants. So poor field position for the Redskins as they start this drive from the 11. Ricky Thompson, who's been very evident this afternoon, out to the 16-yard line for a pickup of 5. This is where you quarterbacks like to have it, don't you? 2nd and 5.
2nd and 5. You can do anything you want to do, and the defense is the one that's got the pressure on them. 2nd, 8 or 9, the offense has the pressure on them.
San Francisco closing in on Atlanta a little bit after the Falcons were up 17-0 in the first quarter. San Francisco has shaped it to 17-10. 2nd and 5. Joe Theismann. He put it in the air 48 times last week. He's a perfect 7 out of 7 today. Jackson. Nothing.
Well, there's E.J. Jr., Frank. E.J. is the one that made the play, came out of his linebacking, inside linebacking position, and got to the outside, shed a block, and made a nice tackle.
Junior is a good one, number 54. The 5th man selected in the draft this year, one of Bear Bryant's prizes from Alabama, and going to be an outstanding linebacker in the National Football League.
Well, the reason you see those linebackers coming out, they bring in some extra defensive backs. Roger Worley's one of them, and they play their 3rd down prevent type defense with 4 linemen rushing.
3rd down, let's call it 6 for the first down. Theismann almost intercepted. And guess who it was? Roy Green. Well, fortunately for Roy, he's catching them on offense today.
That's right. Here he is. He's in there on defense. He's got Harmon man-to-man, and the ball's thrown behind him, so it was not a good throw. But Roy Green also had a chance for an interception.
I don't know how many years you have to go back to find a guy who's gone both ways. Plus, he's not going all the way on defense. Mike Connell to punt, and Mitchell is the deep man standing at about the 45. Connell on his goal line. Had a punt 10 times last week against the Giants.
Well, that's a good one to run back.
Short punt. Mitchell at the 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 10. Harmon takes a shot at him. Touchdown.
No flags. Well, he went north and south, Frank. He took his chances with that first battery of Redskins, and he said, to heck with it. I'm going to try to get through them. Once he got through them, his speed to the sidelines was very quick.
He doesn't want to let go of the football. He's still got the ball.
When he catches this ball, you got a choice to try to juke those first few downfield, those red jerseys. He decided to try to run right through them and hope for the best. And here he makes his move and his decision. He goes north and south right here, and he's missed by a couple of Redskins, and he breaks to the sideline, and it's all over. The stump has got good speed, and he just heads his way into the end zone. Clarence Harmon's the only one, number 38, that had a chance at him.
Extra point is good by O'Donoghue. And the Cardinals now lead the Redskins 19-10 with 7:58 left in the first half.
Yes, I'm responsible for the quality of the engine that comes out of here. without the people on the line being a part of it, I don't have a chance.
At Ford Motor Company, quality is more than a priority. Quality is job one.
We have to do it. We are the ones that are basically responsible for the quality.
Better and better, see what we've done. And Ford quality is job one.
Sears Step Up in Comfort sale is going on now. Sears Comfort Suit, on sale for $79.99. Save $30 and step up to comfort in special action features like stretch fabric, stretch waistband, even the vest stretches. Then save on Sears Tone-on-Tone dress shirt, now only $6.59. You'll save 40% on the shirt, $30 on the suit, and you'll be sitting on top of the world quite comfortably. For savings in menswear, you can count on Sears.
Well, the crowd has come alive here, 19-10. O'Donohue preparing to kick off. Metcalf is deep. So is Nelms. And the Redskins specialty teams are killing them. Penalties. Returns. Metcalf fumbles it at the goal line. Out to the 15. We can show you one more angle of that punt return of Stump Mitchell's, and I think he scores on this one, too.
Livonia Mitchell, better known as the Stump. Catches this. It's a kind of a short punt. He makes his move right here. Goes by Jeff Bosick, number 53, breaks to the outside, and there's no race for Connell, but Harmon's the only one that had a chance, and Stump showed a little speed there at the end.
And a little emotion as well. Young man from the Citadel.
It's a 9th-round draft choice. I don't know how you pass a guy up like that. He had a good reputation in school as a football player, a good guy, and he's showing his stuff today.
Jackson bounces off Tim Collier and gets outside beyond the 20-yard line. Of course, the computer, I'm sure, spit the Stump out because he's only 5'9".
That's right.
With all those fancy computers, the one thing they have yet to figure out that a computer can't measure is a guy's heart and his determination to play the game.
Right, there's the intangibles that computer can't measure, and Stump has got those intangibles. He's been a fine running back in preseason. Did an excellent job coming out of that I formation in place of Otis Anderson. So he's not only a specialty man, they like him as a runner also.
Theismann looks left, throws right. That's Monk. Monk breaks a tackle at the 50. Foot race to the goal line. He's at the 20 and he's gone. Theismann looking around for flags. I guess you do that almost automatically.
Well, Theismann
there are none.
Theismann did an excellent job right here. He's looking off. Lee Nelson is at fault. He's responsible for the deep area. Theismann splits the zone between Carl Allen, number 27. Lee Nelson, 38, gets over there too late, and then he misses the tackle, and it's all over. Monk's got good speed. He's a big receiver, an excellent receiver, and he's got speed. He can run with the football. Carl Allen's chasing him from behind, and it's all over. Lee Nelson, number 38, does a good job for the Cardinals, but here's the zone. Here's 27. He lets him get by him. He knows he's got help by Lee Nelson, but Nelson, 38's over there too late and misses the tackle, and it's all over.
79 yards. Theismann to Monk for the touchdown, and we've got quite a football game. Mosley tacking on the extra point. Cardinals 19. And the Redskins 17. And Roger and I will be back in just a moment.
Stuttgart, West Germany. A very special Mercedes-Benz is coming home to the Mercedes test track. This 1968 diesel from Oregon has been driven over 1 million miles. And after 12 years of careful maintenance, a couple of engine overhauls, and a little luck, this million-mile Mercedes-Benz diesel can still hold its own with these new Mercedes-Benz diesels. Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world.
Hey, Gail, how's the trip? Great, very good. Nice. Oh, no, not again. Wait, my stroke. Hey, look at that guy. Wait. Wow, he caught that jet. Hey, it's Gale Sayers.
Boy, Mr. Sayers, you were really flying.
Had to. Nobody's taking off with my Stros.
From one beer lover to another, Stroh's.
Saturday, catch The Love Bug on the premiere of Walt Disney, starring Dean Jones and Michelle Lee. It's freewheeling fun with The Love Bug on Walt Disney Saturday.
Here's Theismann. He knows what defense he has right here, Frank. He sees Lee Nelson back. He looks to his left to keep Nelson in the middle of the field. He knows it's his own, puts it right between him. He doesn't know what happened right there. He was listening to the crowd noise, really. He didn't even see the completion.
That's probably the case on a lot of your touchdowns down through the years.
Finally, he's looking around and saying, hey, what happened over there? The crowd did not yell in his favor. He knew he was in St. Louis, so something good happened.
Mosley kicking off high and a bit short, and here comes Stump Mitchell again from the 15. 20, exciting player out to the 30 and stops short of the 35-yard line.
We have a football game today. We've seen it all. Long passes, kickoff returns, punt returns.
And we've got half of the second quarter left, plus the whole second half. Other scores, Cleveland looks like it's on the road to winning one, but still a little bit early in the second period, 13-0. Over the Cincinnati Bengals. Newsom, 4-yard touchdown pass from Sipes, the latest score, and the Steelers going for their first win of the year after 2 setbacks, leading the Jets in the second period 17-3. Our score 19-17. Cardinals over the Redskins. 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line for the Cardinals. Anderson, tough man to bring down. Very close to a first down out to the 43-yard line. You know, this is a pretty good rivalry here. You hear a lot about Dallas, Washington, but the Cardinals and Redskins have no love for each other either.
That's exactly right. And here's Anderson. He's going straight ahead this time. A good turnout block by number 71, Bostic. Deerdorf gets his man, and Anderson runs straight ahead with that power, and he's finally collared by number 57, Malott, but he did a good job that time. Bostic got a nice block, and he just went straight ahead. He didn't try to juke anybody, and he got almost 10 yards.
Close enough for measurement, say the officials. Short by about a foot. O.J. Anderson has been held to 21 yards so far. Notice that the fans haven't given up on the Redskins yet. They had a big crowd in Washington yesterday afternoon, I hear.
It's about 250,000 to see him off.
Yeah. So obviously they're not down on him, I guess. Ball is at the 43-yard line. You've got to watch those programs a little closer. Right?
A lot of people in Washington.
He really did, yeah. Atlanta leading San Francisco 24-10 in the second period.
Well, the Redskins had a very disappointing game at home last week. The Cowboy game was one of those when it was all over. You said, hey, play here or play there. We could have done it. Last week they did not play well. Gibbs has got them going today. They're playing tough. They're giving up some big plays, but they're playing football. They're playing with enthusiasm, even though they're behind by a couple points right now.
This will drive you nuts today. Their offense is going and their defense isn't. Here's Wayne Morris. First down and a lot more as he plows out to the 50-yard line.
Well, their defense coming into this game was number 1 overall in the NFC. They number 11 against the rush, number 1 against the pass. So they have not shored up the rushing game. They started out well in the first quarter against the rush, but here we have Morris and Anderson making 2 fine runs here in the second quarter.
1st and 10. Cardinals from midfield. Leading 19-17. Steve is wide to the right side. Nice hole. Wayne Morris, another first down. Down to the 37-yard line. So the Redskins defense, which played pretty well the first 2 weeks, now suddenly runs into big problems.
Here's Morris. He has a big hole there. Number 76 for the Redskins was caught out of position. Matt Mendenhall, and Morris got inside, and he's got good quickness. Morris has been a very durable, solid running back, and he's a fine blocker, good pass receiver. He and Theotis Brown have been going back and forth. Theotis is hurt today, and Wayne has stepped in and has made 2 fine runs here in the second quarter.
He's got 3 carries for 29 yards. Redskins may be paying too much attention to this man, Otis Anderson. Trying to pull free and reaches the 34-yard line for a pickup of 4. It'll be second down 6. Otis Anderson. He's got to have the biggest running pads in, shoulder pads in pro football. I mean, those are bigger than any lineman I've ever seen.
He might just have bigger shoulders than anybody in pro football.
That may have a lot to do with it.
He's big. Upper body is big. Good strength in the upper body.
Officials mark it at the 34, so call it only a pick at the 3. Second down, 7. Morris.
Boy, Dave Butts did an excellent job there, Frank. He wasn't faked by anything. Otis Anderson went to the outside, and they faked a little pitch and an inside handoff, and Dave Butts, number 65, just made a good, solid, experienced professional move and fine tackle.
Coming up next week, another fine schedule of NFL games on CBS. Depending on where you happen to be, you'll be watching a doubleheader. Redskins, of course, will be at Philadelphia. St. Louis fans will be watching Atlanta, Cleveland in the first game. Then St. Louis, Tampa in the second. And, of course, right after this game today, we've got the New Orleans Saints and the New York Giants. On 3rd and 7. Crowd wants the interference call, and they get it.
Well, Tony Peters, I think he would have got away with this, Frank, if he hadn't put that right arm on the shoulder. Now, the referee in the middle of the field did not call it. The one from this side did call it. And I think he just saw that arm around the shoulder pad, and that's the reason he called it. But it was a kind of a late call, and really it wasn't the referee in the best position that made the call.
I think we can look at it again and see.
He does a good job on defense here. Watch that right arm that was on his right shoulder, and you can't do that. You can't put the right arm on the shoulder when you try to get the interception or knock the ball down.
So that means first down for the Cardinals, who have now reached the 27-yard line, and the Redskins trying to figure out some way how to slow this Cardinal offense, which has been very steady. Joe Gibbs doing a little patient on the sidelines. Anderson and Morris, the setbacks behind Jim Hart. Anderson upended at the line of scrimmage. Good defense that time on the left side of the Redskins line, stopping Anderson cold. Matt Mendenhall, number 76, leading the charge. Here's a battle of unbeatens. Kansas City, surprise team in the NFL this year, has a touchdown edge on San Diego in the first period. And Miami has forged ahead of Houston. Talk about surprise teams. I don't think anybody expected the Dolphins to look quite as good as they have in the early going. A tribute perhaps to Don Shula and his coaching ability. 2nd and 10. 2:50 left to go in the half. 19-17. Cardinals lead it. Hart back to throw. Pressure. Gets rid of it. He's got LaFleur, and that's a touchdown. Greg LaFleur, the tight end.
Jim Hart is putting the ball right in some very tight situations. An excellent throw by number 17 there, who is now number 4 on the all-time passing list, but he pumps a little over there to the left. He has LaFleur down the middle. He tries to get the safety. Watch that pump there, and bam, right over the middle. And it's Oklowitz has him man-to-man, but by that pump prevented Lavender from getting over there helping on the play. And Hart did an excellent job. Looked off the deep secondary and put LaFleur man-to-man on number 52, the linebacker, and LaFleur got behind him for the touchdown.
27 yards on the touchdown pass. Jim Hart to the tight end, Greg LaFleur. Donahue tacks on the extra point. And with 2 minutes and 39 seconds left to play in the first half, the Cardinals lead the Redskins 26-17.
Touch. Now Canon gives it a new meaning with the One Touch, the Canon NP120 copier. There isn't even a power switch. Just touch and copying begins instantly. You get 12 copies a minute on plain paper without wasted time or energy. The low-cost Canon NP120, the One Touch. Turning it off is even simpler. No touch. Call toll-free for information or contact your Canon dealer.
Just imagine if everyone drove a car like the Honda Civic DX, there'd be more room on the freeways. There'd be more space to park. And we'd probably all use less gas. The Honda Civic DX, it could make life a lot simpler.
Honda, we make it simple.
You think Jim Hart doesn't get excited after 16 years in the league? Watch it.
Here's that veteran. Watch this pump right there. That really made the play, and then he just laid it down the middle, and he gets excited right here. Jim Hart is a competitor. He wants this team to win. He wants to get on the track, and he is ecstatic right there.
O'Donohue kicks off for St. Louis. Terry Metcalf 2 yards deep. Out to the 15, 20. And a flag at the 23-yard line. And normally that would be a clip, something in that area. Illegal use of hands, preliminary indication against the Redskins. They can't get away. They're going to have an official at every practice to keep this.
Well, you can't do that. That just that kills your drives. You start from such a tough field position each time. You got a long ways to go. That gives you the opportunity to make more mistakes on a long drive. And it's nice to get up around the 25-yard line and start a drive. But this kind of hurts you and also limits you to what you can do.
Use of the body, blocking from behind, above the waist. 72 on the return team. First down.
Big Dexter Manley, the Redskin rookie, guilty of the infraction. And that again saddles the Redskins with poor field position to start this drive as they're back at their 13-yard line. 2.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Theismann is 8 out of 9. Continuing to try to run Wilbur Jackson. Jackson 94 yards rushing in the first half here at 17 carries. Tampa Bay has scored on the Chicago Bears. Mike Washington and a 29-yard interception return. And you and I will be in Tampa, as a matter of fact, with the Cardinals.
Cardinals at Tampa.
Our first look at the Buccaneers. Detroit, Minnesota are tied in the second period. Detroit coming from 14-0 down to tie that one. 2-minute warning. Going to both benches, though. Theismann heads over to the far sideline for a word with Joe Gibbs. And we'll be back in St. Louis in just a moment.
Redskins is one of the biggest men in the NFL. He's big in more ways than one.
It's been a tradition with the Redskins to always have a Santa Claus, and they needed someone quite large, and I was the natural pick.
Hey, Buzz, what is this, you moonlighting now?
Hey, come on, Herm, give me a break. This is something special for Christmas. I've been Santa Claus for 4 years and have enjoyed it ever since I started. You help so many kids from so many different agencies, and this is what United Way has provided, a vehicle for us to get out in the community and visit with some of these children. You can hide behind a mustache and a beard, but yet to see the young people, the twinkle in their eye, they just light up when Santa Claus comes. Regardless of what their problem is, it's all forgotten. The United Way provides a spirit of Christmas year-round. The many agencies, the many people they help, and that's why I'm happy to be a United Way volunteer.
The preceding message was furnished by the National Football League. Exactly 2 minutes left to play in the first half. The Cardinals have sent in a prevent type of defense here, anticipating the Redskins going to put it in the air on 2nd and 8 from their 15.
Well, that's a good stat right there for both teams. They're moving the ball on first down and getting plenty of yardage. That's what's hurt the Redskins the first 2 games, especially offensively. In the rushing game, they just had nothing. Now they're moving the ball well on first down, and it's made a difference. They've overall have played well offensively. The defense has given up 2 big touchdown passes, and of course they came in as the #1 defense in the NFC. So you got to get both units playing together to be successful. And Jackson's got 96 yards in the first half, and that surpasses and almost catches up with the total yardage rushing the last 2 games.
Monk in motion, starts one direction, then goes back. Theismann on 2nd and 8 retreats to the 5. Trying to hit Ricky Thompson out at the 35-yard line. Roger Worley was defending.
It was a pretty darn good pass by Theismann, though. Worley was in position to possibly intercept the ball. He threw it low to the outside, and Thompson could have caught that ball.
There's Roger, who's become kind of a forgotten man here in a couple of weeks. He lost his starting job last week to Tim Collier, long-time Pro Bowl veteran, been in the Pro Bowl 7 years for the St. Louis Cardinals. 3rd down 8. Ricky Thompson wide to the left side, and Monk is set inside of him. Here's Roy Green, who's been all over the field today, offensively and defensively. Blitz. Theismann finally unloads it to no one in particular. I thought it was a blitz, but actually it looked like it was just Pollard chasing him all over the place.
Pollard was in there, and also
See if it did have a blitz here, because they got all over him in a big hurry.
Stafford Mays also put some pressure on him. But Theismann finally did a good job. 82 Pollard just looped around, got in. Greer went inside, Pollard went around, and of course Roy Green, number 25, came up to put some pressure on him, and Theismann got rid of the ball and didn't take the trap back near the end zone.
Punting situation, and Mike Connell is standing smack on his goal line as he awaits the snap. Cardinals got 2 men on the outside man for the Redskins. Big Dexter Manley, probably the only defensive lineman in the league who goes down as the outside man, covering punts. He's like 6'5" and 240, and he's fast. High kick. Good punt. Stump Mitchell, 40. This time down at the 45-yard line, but the Cardinals will have ample opportunity here in the 2-minute period to get back on the scoreboard again.
I think the stump got hurt a little bit, Frank. Might be wind.
50-yard punt by Connell. Far and away his best kick of the day. Stump Mitchell, number 9 draft pick. Citadel. He's the injured man. Fine kick returner. And a real bargain in the National Football League draft. Don't forget, halftime, have a complete update of all the scores, highlights, features. Lots of goodies for you. A minute 37 left on the clock. And the Cardinals will have a couple of timeouts left when play resumes here. St. Louis has moved the ball fairly well offensively. Their first 2 games, they've averaged 303 yards offensively, but defensively, they've given up 338 yards. Redskins, on the other hand, have moved the ball through the air, but not on the ground until today. And it's their defense. They have the number 1 rated pass defense in the NFC. Has had its problems today. I think it was Butt saying that the defense has spent so much time on the field that and they've been throwing so much, the defense comes out and it's 1, 2, 3 kick, 3 quick passes, and the defense is right back in there. That's got to wear you down after a while.
It does. And what happens on first down, if you try to get the short passes, the philosophy isn't bad. When you go in those medium range passes, your percentage drops down. That's into the 50 to 60% range. If you hit the short ones, you should hit 80% on first down. And if you miss a pass on first down at 2nd and 10, and you're immediately behind the 8 ball, and that's what the problem's been in the past 2 games for the Redskins. Of course, today on first down, they've done an excellent job. John O'Mahundro, the trainer for the Cardinals, was signaling something in the neck area when he looked over, but Stump was moving his leg, so it might be a nerve or pinched nerve, something in the back of his neck.
There's any time you get close to that area, you're going to be very careful before you move somebody, so you know what you're dealing with here.
I saw a little hand clap by one of the Cardinals over on the side, so evidently Stump must have said something, and number 35 Griffin was clapping his hands when he leaned down the Stump. So
we can take a look at the replay here.
He's probably doing all right.
Maybe we can see exactly where he got hurt. It wasn't evident to the naked eye that he was injured on the play. Here it is again.
Here's where he cuts back inside right here. Gets tripped up and hit in the leg right there. Seems like his leg's all right, though, and then he comes down. Bam, hits right there in the back of the neck. Looks like he pushed his neck down. Big number 77 for the Redskins. Darrell Granson, that special team 77, and just probably pushed his neck into his chest.
Jim Hannafin standing on the sidelines looking on. His team in Tampa Bay next week. Stump is up on his feet. Of course, the Redskins, have not lost their first 3 games in a season. You have to go back to 1965. That was pre-Lombardi. They've got a collar around his neck.
Yeah, that's what he was signaling for before. So
crowd loves him. He's getting a standing ovation. Really a popular player. One of the most exciting things they've had come to St. Louis in quite some time. Mitchell, who came into the game leading the NFC in kickoff returns, and of course returned to punt for 50 yards and a touchdown a bit earlier this afternoon to fire up the Cardinals. We'll get a report and see if he'll be back in the second half. Now, as we get back to play, Cardinals have the football. They have a 1st and 10 at their 46-yard line with 1:37 left to play in the half. And that means that Hart will go upstairs. That's the first time they've actually sacked him. Good pressure put on by the Washington Redskins, and particularly Coy Bacon, number 79.
Coy Bacon got him there late. It's off of a play action. There's not much at this time. The linebackers aren't going to go for that play action. He was looking for Steve coming back over the middle, and there was no give in by the linebackers in that fake, and they were back, and Hart took the sack.
The word on Stump Mitchell is that he has a sprained neck, and they're taking him in for x-rays, and he may or may not be back today. Hart on 2nd and 10. Safety valve is Otis Anderson looking for some running room. Out to the 42-yard line. He just did a little tiptoeing there, didn't he?
Well, if you get a report on Pat Tilley, he hasn't been in here for a while. They've got Dave Steve, number 84, and I don't know if Tilley's hurt, if they're just keeping him out, but there must be something wrong with Tilley.
Well, he's on the sidelines. I can see him standing right next to head coach Jim Hannafin with his helmet off, so it doesn't look like he's going to go back in anytime soon. And there's a guy who made the Pro Bowl last year, so you've got to figure he must be hurting if he's not playing. Clock is running with 20 seconds left to play in the first half. Cardinals have a 3rd down, need 13 for the first down. Sideline throw to Mike Fisher. Fisher, a rookie from Baylor, and he was worrying about where the sidelines.
They could have hit one more pass and kicked a field goal, or possibly kicked a field goal from there if he would have caught it. It would have been a first down. He jumped before the ball got there and lost his concentration when he jumped. It's a deep play to the sideline to get the first down. Hart drills it out there nicely, and Fisher pulls up on the sideline, jumped before the ball got there, and lost sight of it and went right through his arms.
Redskins send back Virgil Say as Birdsong comes in to do the punting. Kyle Birdsong, a rookie who beat out the veteran Larry Swider for the punting job with St. Louis this year. He's averaged just over 40 yards a kick thus far this season. Big rush by the Redskins, but he gets it away, hangs it up high, and a fair catch signaled by Say at the 17-yard line. Say, who had an outstanding collegiate career and once upon a time returned 3 punts for touchdowns in a single game at college. 41 yards on that punt, and the Redskins will get the ball with only 6 seconds left to play in the half at their 17. Again, a complete rundown on all the scores coming up at halftime. Turned into quite a fine offensive football game. 26-17. Cardinals lead it. Redskins led at the quarter 10-9, but the Cardinals coming up with 17 big points in the second period, including Mitchell's punt return for the score. Theismann. I think Wilbur Jackson forgot what the play was, or what?
Well, he was. Theismann got rid of it very quick. Jackson hadn't even turned around, so there was a mistake between the two of them.
So that runs the clock down to the 2-second mark. Theismann is now 8 out of 12 after completing his first 7 passes on the day. He's thrown for 168 yards. But the big difference for the Redskins today is the fact they have run the football. At least Jackson has. Jackson has 96 yards rushing. He has all of the Redskins rushing yardage. Metcalf has carried once for no yards. And this should be the last play of the first half. Theismann looking to the near sideline, and again the receiver Ricky Thompson did not look around. Thompson looking back at Theismann like, how come?
Well, Theismann was trying to get it in that quick area before Thompson looked, and again they didn't have much of a chance to do anything with 2 seconds left. overall, Theismann has thrown the ball well. They've run. Defensively, though, the Redskins have really given up some big plays, which has not been their tendency so far this season. And it's a difference in the game, 26-17, mainly because of Washington's defense.
That's what drives the coaches nuts, as we say. Joe Gibbs working hard all week to get that offense in gear, particularly the running game. Apparently has got things solved in that area. And lo and behold, the defense suddenly springs some leaks. Roger Staubach and I'll be back at Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis shortly.
1928, we didn't have enough people to qualify for an insurance plan. But Connecticut General took us on anyway because they believed we were going places.
Spotting a company on the way up is good for our business because when we take on a client, it's for life.
Connecticut General's kept us happy, but quite frankly, that's their job. After all, business is business.
After 53 years, we still work for United Technologies like it's the first day because we want their business another 53 years.
Connecticut General, we keep some pretty tough customers happy.
In Japan, people demand a lot from a 35mm camera. That's why thousands of Japanese have gone beyond ordinary automatic 35s to the Pentax ME Super. The ME Super is really two cameras. On manual, you use it like a professional camera. But on automatic, it's as easy to use as any 35. The Pentax ME Super. One reason we've sold more 35 SLR cameras than any other company in Japan, or in the world.
Last year, in a remote coal mining town in Pennsylvania, things were looking pretty black. The mine's generator shorted out, and replacing it required a 19,000-pound crane that was 3,000 miles away. That's why they called Emery. For we not only carry more weight than anyone, we carry it to more places more often. So overnight, we helped this remote coal mining town see the light at the end of the tunnel. Emery, at the right place at the right time.
Coming up on CBS Sports Saturday. Next weekend, Roberto Duran continues to fight his way back to the top. Now he faces European super welterweight champion Luigi Minchillo. In 2 weeks, Boom Boom Mancini is on the verge of realizing his lifelong dream, the title his father never had the chance to win. Now, Boom Boom Mancini challenges three-time champion Alexis Arguello for the WBC Lightweight Championship. Exciting boxing action coming up on CBS Sports Saturday.
Welcome back to the news desk in New York. This week, of course, began on a Thursday night with the Eagles downing the Bills 20-14. But the story there, Wilbert Montgomery. Late in the going, perhaps you noticed Wilbert Montgomery pulled a muscle. He's the Eagles' outstanding running back. And Irv Cross, what about his status now?
Brent, I saw Wilbert Friday night. He's never had a muscle pull, even when he was in college running track. He'll be out about 3 or 4 weeks.
And, of course, looking down the road, the Eagles have got a big one coming up against the Atlanta Falcons. All right, let's get you up to date with everything that's going on right now. Minnesota over Detroit, 17-14 at the half. But the storyline, well, it's deceiving because the Lions are on the move. They fell behind by 2 touchdowns. Yes, Tommy Kramer back at quarterback. He goes to Terry LeCount for 45 yards in this situation. And Teddy Brown hounded in from the 1-yard line. The Vikings running game has been absolutely non-existent this season. Now watch Tom Hannon of the Vikes strip the ball right here from Leonard Thompson on this pass reception, and he'll return it to the 5-yard line. And that set up Minnesota's second touchdown of the game. You might recall that Joe Sensor, the tight end, dropped a couple of big passes against Oakland. Not here. He's got this one. 5-yard score. Now it was 14-0. But the Lions are slowly emerging as the class of the NFC Central. Billy Sims powers in. That's touchdown number 4 for the year. Folks, watch this one. Watch the desire. The guards pull, and Billy Sims goes up over the top, and it's 17-14 on a Rick Danmeyer field goal right now. Cleveland over Cincinnati, 13-0. And, of course, next week, the key doubleheader game on CBS will match the Cleveland Browns against the Atlanta Falcons. That'll be a key AFC-NFC showdown because the Falcons are in high gear right now. The Jets trail the Pittsburgh Steelers. 17-3 is the count there. Russell Davis at running back for the Steelers has scored twice for that team. And St. Louis 26, Washington 17. The game you're enjoying here on CBS. Well, I guess you're not enjoying it so much if you're a Washington Redskin fan. You wonder when that Joe Gibbs offense is going to get enough points to win a game. How'd you like this play, huh? Little razzle-dazzle, flea flicker. Ricky Thompson, touchdown. Washington goes up by 7. Jim Hart, the veteran, is back. Who is Roy Green, or Cross? What's he doing out there?
Can you believe as a defensive back was converted to wide receiver because of injuries? Nice catch.
Stump Mitchell on the return. Right up the middle. The Stumperoo did it in a preseason game that I recall. He turns it loose for 50 here. Now Theismann going to Art Monk, and he shakes a tackle. Right now, 79 yards and a touchdown, and this made it a 2-point game. But then Hart came back to Greg LaFleur. I've never heard of Greg LaFleur.
I know him. The Eagles drafted him number 3 out of LSU this year. Cut him. Cardinals picked him up. Touchdown, Mr. LaFleur.
I guess that means Krepfle's better than LaFleur, right?
Guess so.
26-17 at the half. Now, Miami over Houston. 9-7 is the count in that game, and of course that is a battle of the field goals so far. And Atlanta over San Francisco, 24-10. I got to show you this Falcon attack. Steve Bartkowski took the opening kickoff, and boom, the Falcons moved right down the field. Here's the touchdown. Alfred Jackson, 29 yards. What are Bart's halftime stats, Irv?
You won't believe it. 11 for 18, 129 yards, 3 touchdowns.
And watch this effort by Lynn Kane on the swing pass.
Brent, I've seen some great runs in my career as a player and as a coach, but this one ranks among the top. Look at this. Great individual effort for the score.
That made it 17-0, and Joe Montana got the Niners on the board, going to tight end Charlie Young for 11 yards, 17-7. And then back he came, Irv Bartkowski, this time to Alfred Jenkins.
He has so many weapons as an offensive attack. Great pass receivers and a dynamite running game.
24-10 is the count. They're in the third period right now. All right, an update on San Diego. They have just come back to score a second time. Danny Fouts and the Chargers fell behind by 7, and now Fouts has thrown 2 touchdown passes. His second one to the rookie, James Brooks, out of Auburn, and they lead Kansas City 14-7. Tampa Bay over Chicago, 7-0 is the count in Soldier Field in the first half of that game, and it was the Buccaneers defense that did the job. Watch the pressure on Vince Evans here. And, oh, Irv, you must have liked bounces like this when you were a defensive back. Mike Washington just runs on in. Slips past Walter Payton, and it's an easy 6, and right now it's 7, and the NFL Today will continue on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
Reach for CBS and reach for the stars.
This San Francisco garage owner is actually Merlin the Magician from King Arthur's court.
You have to be over 1,600 years old.
I do 30 push-ups a day, and I don't eat fried food.
Zach's his new apprentice, discovering Merlin's world of wizardry and bubbling over with tricks of his own.
Did you part the Red Sea?
Oh, I'm good, but I'm not that good.
It's Madcap Magic when Mr. Merlin premieres this fall.
This is CBS.